Welcome to Jagging Off After Dark. This is CT Jags, also known as Ray Ray. Along with me, we have
Bo Nose and Rob Boogie.
All right, and the reason this show was created is there's a lot of Jag shows out there, Jaguars as far as like what's going on with the team, and there's really not what's going on with the community, and we're like combining both of them. So here we go. First, what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little different. We're going to, I'm going to go to the other two guys over here with Bo Nose and, Rob Boogie over here. And we're going to, ask them, what made them a Jags fan and, exciting moments, and we'll go from there. And then I'll speak a little on me. All right, Bo, you're up.
What made me a Jags fan was I was a big-time college fan all through my life, Hurricane fan. And when I was in the Army, I got stationed over here at Stewart. And I started watching the Jags since '04. And Gene Smith, I just watched how he just crumbled the organization and how Gus and Dave took it over, and they just pumped just nothing but positive into me, and I love the team and what's going on with it.
All right, and do you have a game that you went to that you can, or a tailgate or anything that you have an excited moment that you could speak on?
I've been to a couple games, and I took my family down there one time and did family day. The other time it was just me and my buddy. We went out there. We just partied hard and got drunk, and we just had a good time. But this year I got my season tickets, and I'm ready to go for 7 straight games.
There you go. It would have been 8, but overseas game. It is what it is. All right, now, Mr. Rob Boogie, so how did you become a fan?
Well, actually, my father was a big-time Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And, I just couldn't take it no more. I would be inside the house, and it would be Rod Woodson's barbecue sauce in my face and all type of pictures of Pittsburgh Steelers and everything. And my favorite player at the time was Deion Sanders. Well, I happened to turn on a game when the Jaguars first entered, and he had this cornerback by the name of Aaron Beasley. I played football, so Deion wore 21, Aaron Beasley wore 21, I wore 21. Turned around and looked at the game, and Jacksonville just gave Pittsburgh a good whipping. Ever since then, couldn't tell me I wasn't a diehard Jaguar fan. So I've been a Jaguar fan from day one, and I'm out here in New York City repping my Jaguars hard every day, 365 days a year.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So we have one guy. You're from right outside of Jacksonville, correct, Bo?
Yeah, I'm originally from Florida, though. But right now I live in Savannah.
And then we got one guy repping from New York City.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm repping from, I'm originally from Connecticut. People know me as CT Jags. I also lived out in Jacksonville, and right now I'm out in Tennessee. There's a long story behind that. I'd rather be in Jacksonville, but it is what it is. The reason I'm a Jags fan, I was an Eagles fan. I was a diehard Eagles fan. I watched Randall Cunningham and the whole team, do well. And then a guy named Rich Kotite came in and destroyed my team. So I said, you know what, screw this. I want a team I can be, a part of from the day one. So I seen that there were expansion teams in both the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I used to say wire, but when you go out to Jacksonville, you realize there's no wire in Jags. So anyway, I had my choice, and I'm like, well, I'm not a big fan of the blue. And, I started watching Jags games, and I was liking them, and then I really, really, really got into the Jags when, Mark Brunell started being the quarterback. However, I did not like what he said about the team possibly going to across, over to England, which I don't agree with at all. And I don't believe he should be in the pride account of it, but that's beside the point, and I'm not going to, have hate mail from everybody. So, what do you all think is, as far as this year's team, do you see that we could go above 500 this year? I'm not even talking about playoffs. We still got a ways to go.
I think we can go above 500. The way our schedule is, I think it's very possible. NFC East, there's only one team in that division that's tough, and that's Philly. The AFC Central, that's not tough. I think we have a good chance. I think we can go 3-3 in conference.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna go above 500 too. I just think that what Gus Bradley did on the defensive side of the ball by picking up, Red Bryant and Chris Clemens, and actually I really do like our secondary, especially our safeties with Winston Guy, who I know is going to start, and Jonathan Cyprian, two young safeties. I just feel like we got the defense that can really shut a lot of things down, and we can finally put pressure on the quarterback, which we haven't been able to do in the last couple of years. So I think we're going to go above 500.
I think it's possible. I'm not going to say we're going to because I'm still seeing Chad Henne as quarterback. The problem with that is I've watched him since Michigan, and he's been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And that's not to be a naysayer. That's just to be like, okay, we drafted Blake. Blake should play. If he plays lights out better than Henne, he should play. And if he plays, I could see us going over 500. If he doesn't, well, I'm not sure, especially with, just having an injury to Robinson all of a sudden. This is just, our injury bug is ridiculous.
Man, I think Chad Henne can get it done. I mean, I see he can get. He had no weapons last year in the part of the season. We went 4-4. Now he's got Marquise Lee, Robinson. I think he can do it.
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Chad Henne. You got to remember, one big part of our team last year, which a lot of people don't really think was a good part, is Mercedes Lewis, who was hurt a lot of time of the year, and he helps us out in the running game, so we really couldn't run the ball. I think by having a bigger back in Toby Gerhardt, somebody who can sit there and we can run the ball, control the clock, and we don't got to ask Chad Henne to be the savior. We can go back to being a ground and pound team, take some time off the clock, control the ball, control all possessions. And like I said, with the defense that I think that we're trying to build right now, I really do think that we have a legitimate chance. I think Chad Henne can really do some good work for us.
I'm going to say I'm still on the fence about that. I've just seen Chad Henne play everywhere, and I don't know. Every time I try to gain faith in him, he seems to let me down. But I mean, he doesn't do it intentionally or anything, and whatnot. But I'm going to move on here. I'm going to talk about a very touchy subject. How about Justin Blackmon? Do you see him returning to the Jags, or is he done and he's going somewhere else?
I think we should keep him. They haven't cut him. They could release him, but they haven't. He's the best receiver on our roster. If you let him go, he's going to be like Chris Carter for the Vikings. He's going to go be a Hall of Famer.
I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards the whole cutting him because, I mean, you already served a 4-game suspension, for substance abuse, and then you go back in the same season and then you do it again. You know what I mean? We've seen it with the safety from the Giants. We've seen it with Josh Gordon. Once you get some of these people who just don't care about, who doesn't care about the team or doesn't care about actually getting better, then I just think that it's a cancer for the team. And I don't know. I just don't think that we should keep him.
I just don't see he wants to play, for the Jags. I mean, from everything that I'm hearing, he won't return Cecil Short's, text. He won't return anybody else's text. It seems to me like, okay, yeah, he wants to play football, but he doesn't want to play for the Jags. And maybe it's due to his contract, the way that they negotiated it, and, they didn't have much trust in him, and he feels, okay, well, they didn't have much trust in me, even though I got in trouble. I still feel like I was slapped in the face.
I mean, you got to think about it, though. I mean, how many times did he get in trouble in college? And then before he even sit there and signed with the team, he got a DUI. You understand? before training camp even started, and then you go on and you do this again. So, I mean, how many chances do you want to give him? I mean, he's a talented player, and I don't feel like he needs to be taking that stuff anyway because he's a very good player. I mean, but I don't know. And the way we're moving right now, I just feel like having somebody like that in the locker room where there's nothing but positive, it can really break up a locker room, and we don't need to go to no more downs. I'm looking towards ups, and I just don't think that he's ready. Like you said, he hasn't returned Cecil Shorts' text. You know, I read that he hasn't been doing nothing with football. You know, you're not even working out. You're not even staying in shape. What happened if Goodell sit there and tell him tomorrow you can come back? You know, how is he going to come back? Is he going to come back with the same mindset or not? I just don't think we need somebody who we got to go 50-50 with. I think we need to have number players that's 100% bought into the program, and then we can sit there and move forward and try to be a productive team.
See, but the thing is, all we're hearing is rumors. We don't know if he really is not working out or anything like that. We have no clue, and the team can't have contact with him in the first place. So they really don't know. And maybe him and Shorts aren't friends like that he is returning his call.
I don't know what the deal is. I do know it's pretty crazy if he is getting these texts and not returning them because it just shows that he don't care. The last time we had people that didn't care, they did not work out. I do know that.
Yeah, but in the NFL, professional football, it's not like college or high school. You're not all bonded like that. So just because he hasn't returned Cecil Shorts' phone call, I don't see that as a problem because maybe they're not friends like that.
I mean, you got to think about it. You guys are supposed to be a team. You know what I'm saying? And if you look, I can give you a perfect example of a wide receiver who just didn't care about his team and could be a Hall of Famer but not going to be a first ballot. A person like Terrell Owens. You understand? Every place he went, he was a cancer. He was a great receiver, but he was a cancer. You understand? We're trying to get over the hump of the things that Gene Smith did and the way the organization was before. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be on my team and we're going to be productive receivers, you got to have some type of bond. You have to have some type of bond. You can't just sit there and be like, okay, what's up at practice, and then I don't see you no more. We can't have that. A lot of these players that's in the NFL right now, if you take Seattle, they said it perfectly when they signed back Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin said, not only is Pete Carroll and the GM my bosses, they're my friends. And that's what you need. You need that type of friendship. You need that type of people to be inside your organization and make it stronger. Sometimes a simple text of what's going on means a lot, and you just not saying nothing.
Yeah,
and I just don't feel like, I just don't feel like, he's doing it.
Is Cecil Shorts the number one receiver? I mean, I don't see anyone better than Justin Blackmon that we can put on the field. Like, he is a true number one.
You are 100% right about that. You are. He's a true number one. But like I'm saying, what would you rather do? Would you rather sit there and have him come back and, like he said he might not want to play for the Jags. So would you have him come back and not give his all? Or would you have somebody like Cecil Shorts who you know is going to play hurt, give his all, bleed, do everything he can to sit there and help the team out and make the team better? I'd just rather sit there and go with positive thinking people than go with negative minded people. That's just my thought.
So would you cut him, or would you at least wait till he comes back and then try to get at least a 6th-round pick for him?
That I would do. I could wait till he come back. We can sit there and see what he does, and then we can sit there and get a draft pick for him. But if he comes back and he's productive, he shows he changed, that's another story.
See, that's what I'm saying. Just give him at least one more chance. If it don't work out, then at least we could try to get something for him. But don't just cut bait with him.
All right, for anybody listening to this, if you want to join live along with me, Bo, and Rob Boogie over here, you're welcome to at 1-855-403-9071. We'll be running another 30, 45 minutes. All right, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to touch on a very touchy subject because I know a lot of fans have mixed reactions. Should Jimmy Smith be in the Hall of Fame, and should he at least be in the Pride? Your thoughts?
Yeah, he should be in the Pride. He's the best receiver ever in Jaguars history.
Got to agree with Bo. I mean, the guy had 12,000 yards receiving, 70 touchdowns. I mean, come on. He made it, he needs to be in the Pride. Automatically. I mean, he had to be our best receiver we ever had in franchise history. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it shouldn't have been waited on. Hall of Fame. I do believe he needs to be. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but he had some problems, and it's going to take a while before he gets there. But I believe he should be in the Pride.
I mean, Lawrence Taylor's in the Hall of Fame. He snipped a lot of stuff.
True about that. Definitely true about that.
Well,
but I really do.
Well, here's the thing. If this was 10, 15 years ago in the old NFL, he would be in no problem. No problem. But because it's the new NFL and it's all about, your conduct on the field and off the field, he's getting snubbed right now.
Yeah. I mean, he
is.
Really is.
Especially by the Jaguars, because, man, he was the best. Him and Keenan McCardle were unstoppable.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we like Mark Brunell said it, when one of them left, it just wasn't the same for him. You understand what I'm saying? Them two definitely made a difference. Like, there was no way you could double team one, It was just, we was unstoppable back then. And that's what I believe we've shown that we can do right now. With two good outside receivers and a strong running game. But I definitely believe that Jimmy Smith is, to me, Jimmy Smith was unguardable at times. He was a great route runner. He had great hands, and he had speed. Majority of his problems came after he left the Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our wide receivers, such as Matt Jones.
Out of all names.
But I definitely believe he needs to be in the Pride.
I totally agree there. I agree 100%, 110%. I would even put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he did things that few wide receivers could with, only what he had to deal with or what he had to work with. I mean, outside of, Baselli and, a few linemen, we didn't have, the best line out there, and we didn't have the best, team to work with, but he just made things happen. I think part of it was kind of, the dynamic ability of, Fred Taylor, but the other part of it is because he was just that good. And the funny thing is, when we were talking about Blackman a minute ago, I actually got a, text back from Jay Smooth on Twitter, and he said that Blackman was better than he was when he was coming out of college, and he basically said, well, he's going to be really good. But I'm sure he didn't know he was going to Blackman was going to do the stupid things he did either.
Yeah, I was hoping that Justin Blackman could be the next Jimmy Smith for us, but we've been bit by the wide receiver bug for how many years right now? It's just been terrible since Jimmy Smith left. We haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Jimmy Smith. Cesar Shorts came in closest, the year before? He was like 31 yards short. So, look at the receivers we had. Reggie Williams, Ernest Wilford, Matt Jones, Mike Sims-Walker. Definitely all hype. Reggie Williams had that one good season, if he did, when he had like 11 touchdowns that one year. But other than that, we've been bit by the wide receiver bug. And I just feel like that Jimmy Smith, he set such a high bar. It's kind of hard for some of the receivers we get right now to sit there and reach that ball. But I thought Justin Blackman could do it before he made his mistake.
He's shown us flashes. Look at remember the Houston game, his rookie year, and then last year, what was it, Denver game and the Rams game.
Oh, unbelievable.
Man.
Unbelievable. He has things that he has the thing that you can't teach. You want like that extra instinct, you know what I mean? And he's strong, he runs great routes, you know what I mean? And once he gets the ball, he's like another Antoine Bolden. He's like a running back after he catches the ball. He's hard to bring down. One person might not bring him down. You know what I mean? I just hope that he gets his head on right, because if you think about it, if you add Justin Blackman with Cecil Shorts, Allen Robinson, Marquise Lee, Ace Sanders, even Mike Brown at times. Look at what you have right there to work with. You understand? You add a running game. Come on. You do damage with that. You know what I mean? A lot of people put Mercedes Lewis down, but I love Mercedes Lewis. He's just been bit by the Blaine Gabbert bug. Once Blaine Gabbert became
I like
quarterback,
Lewis. I think he's real good. I think he's Pro Bowl material.
Of course, I believe he's one of the best all-around tight ends in the NFL. He blocks. You know, he catches the ball. I mean, but he got bit by the quarterback bug. We just had too many downs, and I think that we're looking up right now. And I think that we need to keep the pieces that we have right now. If, like I said, if Blackman get his head on right, then we'll be a legitimate contender. Seriously.
The only problem,
the O-line improved too. That's a big thing people don't talk about. Last year, our line was terrible.
Oh yeah, the addition of Zane Beatles, and that just makes a big thing. Makes a big difference. Luke Jokel's coming back. You know, awesome pass here. Showed a lot of promise last year at right tackle. I mean, we up and coming. Offensive line is definitely getting better.
I wish we could have got Alex Mack.
Oh man, it would have been great. It would have been great. But let's not count on Mike Brewster yet. You know, let's not count on him yet. Let's see what he do. I mean, we all love Brad Meester, who to me was another one who I don't understand didn't make a Pro Bowl out of all them years. But I don't know. That
was a Jacksonville thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. How come other fan bases don't give Jacksonville? I mean, we're like a laughing stock, and other franchises have been just as bad as us. That's the one thing I do hate.
Yeah, but you know what? You have to look at some of the moves we made to become that laughing stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, we made some bad moves. Like the one signing, Aaron Campman. I mean, seriously. We gave him all that money, and what did he do? 2 years of just being injured. You know what I mean?
How about the receiver from Dallas we got a couple years ago? God.
Oh, the concussion kid, Robinson, right?
Yeah. Oh man. Or we take a punter in the third round. I'm like, man.
That's Gene Smith for you, man.
Yeah. I remember Gene Smith was saying wide receivers are a dime a dozen, yet we couldn't find one worth a damn. Well, no, he found one in Cecil Shorts, but the first year he was looking like a deer lost in the headlights.
Yeah, I mean, Gene Smith was our Matt Millen. He just didn't know what he was doing sometimes. You know what I mean? But we good now, though. Dave Caldwell came in, and he's doing some things that I really like. I'm actually really excited. My wife was telling me if I don't stop talking about football, she's going to kill me. You know? But
I will say this. I think we're going to have a top 10 defense next year. I don't care if they're older. You have to think about it, okay? When Babin was on the Eagles, all right, and he had other, people that actually could get to the quarterback, he was very effective. Now, when he didn't, he wasn't. But now with Clemens there, you've got Brian over there, you've got Branch over there. I mean, you've got so much. I mean, it would have been great to, have a guy like Clowney, but I'd rather have, a quarterback.
Yeah.
But Babin has just does the stupidest things at times, man. He killed us some games last year.
I don't think Babin plays the run very well. His mind is just set on getting to the passer sometimes. He just overlooks the run, But I think that the strongest part, I know we got a good front four, like with all the rotation that we're going to have, but I think the surprising part of our defense is definitely going to be our secondary. Alan Ball was a surprise to me. Bo Blackman was a surprise to me. Dwayne Gradsby
Blackman played great.
Healthy. Yeah, Dwayne Gradsby stays healthy. I mean, we had some pieces. I love Jonathan Cyprian. I love him. He showed me a lot. Like, I didn't know he could play man coverage that well. And like I said, Winston Guy in the last 2 games and 2 forced fumbles, he in a sack. I mean, I think our secondary is young. It's young. But I think they're going to be like the surprise of our defense this year. I really do.
I like the additions to the linebacking core, too. With Telvin Smith and, what's his name, Watkins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Watson and Geno Hayes going to be healthy. We got probably one of the most underrated middle linebackers in the NFL, and Paul Posluszny, He was only 3rd in tackles.
I'm going to tell you someone else, Marks. Man, Marks is underrated around the league, and he was a beast last year.
Oh, definitely. He is one. He showed me so much on the pass rushing side. It was unreal. He moves his body for a big man in such ways. You know what I mean? And I think like bringing Ziggy Hood over from Pittsburgh and him going back to his natural position of defensive tackle.
Yeah, I
think he's going to play a big part. And I hope that Tyson Alualu, man, can give me a little bit more.
Man, I think Alalu and Andre Branch. I think they need to go, man. Get rid of these Gene Smith guys.
I don't know. I kind of like Andre Branch. He showed some promise last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he, very much improved.
I like it. I mean, it's exciting to actually see us. If you kind of look at the team we have right now, it kind of reminds you of the team back then when we beat Denver. If you look at like what you have, it's similar to it. You know what I mean? Like we have pieces now. We got players. That can come in and do things. You know what I mean? I mean, think of the different packages you're going to have on defense. Dakota Watson can put his hand in the ground. You got Telvin Smith, a speed linebacker. Paul Posluszky don't have to be out there on passing downs. It just helps us out a whole lot. I mean, how
about the kid from Arkansas, Smith?
Oh, Chris Smith. That's what I'm saying. Like, our front four played the most snaps out of anybody in the NFL, 926. Nobody in Seattle went over 700. You know what I mean? So that's going to help us out a lot.
Yeah, and don't sleep on Miller either.
Oh, Roy Miller. And he played hurt all last season and did a hell of a job. So, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys a question.
Yes.
Do you think Fred Taylor should be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely, no question.
Thank you so much.
I think he should, but he's not going to just because of what freaking I hate to say it, but what Coughlin did to him. It just really messed him up. And then when he went to New England, he got injured too. So, I mean, that's just
yeah,
thing.
But he rushed over 10,000 yards. I mean,
yes, 10,000 yards. And you got to remember, he had them 3 seasons where he had injuries and still got 10,000 yards. So imagine if he didn't have this one.
Is he the greatest player in Jaguars history?
Yes, by far.
By far.
So I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Definitely. I mean, Fred Taylor, you had that when they looking for people to put in the Hall of Fame, you look for game changers. People you got a game plan for, people who change certain things in the game. If you look at Fred Taylor and what he did, once he got in the open field, who was really stopping him? I mean, who was really stopping him?
No one.
I mean, don't you remember the run against the Dolphins when he broke it to that was like a 90-yard run when he went to bounced it off to the right and they couldn't catch him?
Yeah, I think it was like 94.
94. I mean, it was like.
I remember my father's face when he got over 200 yards on that Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You know what I mean? Like, who was doing that to the Steelers defense back then? You know what I mean? Fred Taylor definitely. I mean, he's in the top 15 in rushing yards all time in the NFL. Does that say Hall of Fame?
I think it does.
There you go. Does the fan base outside of Jacksonville know about what Tom Coughlin did to Mr. Taylor made? I mean, it's just the whole thing. If people base it on this guy was fragile, then he may not make it. He should. By far. But then again, Jimmy should as well. But in the new NFL, you don't know.
Yeah, really don't know. I mean, look how long it took him to put Chris Carter in. To me, he was the first ballot, and he didn't get in his first ballot. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I mean, you can't put Jimmy Smith in if you didn't put Tim Brown in yet. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, it is going to be a while. Do you think Toby Gerhart is going to have 1,000 yards?
Do I think so?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's going to give us about 1,100 yards. You know what I mean? I think that by him sitting behind Adrian Peterson, by him not having a lot of tail in his body, and by him being an old school power back, linebackers are not built in the NFL these days to take down somebody 240 pounds coming right at them. You know what I mean? They're not built like that. Linebackers are not like they were back in the days. Linebackers weigh 230 pounds, if that. Now, so I think that he's going to get 1,000 yards. I do, and I think Denard Robinson is going to play a huge part for us this year.
You think Robinson will, as far as a running back? I think they could throw Robinson all over.
Yeah,
he can't get.
Definitely. I mean, he put on 15 pounds in the off season, 15 pounds of muscle. So he's serious.
Yeah, but will he not fumble the ball?
That's a big problem. And I'm a Michigan fan, so I've seen it all the time. know what I mean? He definitely needs to hold on to the ball. Ball security will be a big thing for him.
Oh, that's why you're a Chad Henne guy.
Nah. No, that's not.
No.
Honestly, I wasn't too fond of him in Michigan.
No.
So when the year they drafted Gabbert, did you want Ryan Mallett?
No.
Did I want Ryan Mallett? No. Honestly, I'm not. When we drafted Blaine Gabbert, I was ecstatic. I went crazy. I'm like, finally, a quarterback. But I think that, to me personally, I think that Jack Del Rio messed up Blaine Gabbert because he tried to do the same thing he did with Byron Leftwich and David Garrard. He got rid of Byron Leftwich, he put in David Garrard. David Garrard wound up doing some things for us a couple of years. But you only do that when you know a player. I mean, who the hell was Luke McCown?
But
you know what I mean?
But here's the deal. If you're going to talk about quarterbacks, every quarterback was basically set up after Garrard. The reason for it, you have no line, and you don't have a scrambling quarterback. You don't have an elusive quarterback.
I think if you was going to groom Blaine Gabbert, I think you shouldn't have released David Garrard. You should have let David Garrard do what they're doing right now. You should let David Garrard take the snaps, let Blaine Gabbert learn, and we might have had a different outcome. I got a funny feeling he's going to go over there and learn under Jim Harbaugh and turn into the next Alex Smith. I just have a funny feeling.
Or the next Brett Favre.
No, I don't. Gabbert is terrible. I just don't. I didn't see it coming out of the draft, and I don't see it now.
I just thought that he was good.
You know what? When he had time, though, he made plays. I mean, it wasn't like, when he had time, he didn't do anything.
No, when he had time. But that's the thing.
Did you see the Rams game? Pick six. The Chiefs game? Pick six. I mean, it was like, man, put this guy on the bench.
I thought that he was going to be our quarterback after I seen a couple of years ago, the Minnesota game when he threw the touchdown to Cecil Sorts, and then the Indianapolis game when he threw the touchdown to Cecil Sorts. I thought that was okay.
How about the preseason game against the Jets last year? I'm like, this guy might have found the switch.
Mm-hmm. But that was only when he had time. Like you said, he doesn't. When pressure is coming, he's scared. He doesn't know how to stay in the pocket and take that hit to deliver that ball. You know what I mean?
That's why I think in San Fran he'll probably excel because they have one of the best lines, if not the best line in the NFL.
And you add.
Were you excited about the Bortles pick?
Yes, I wanted a quarterback.
I was half-half. I felt like he would have been there at 6 if we'd have traded back with Atlanta. But like Dave Caldwell said, he's there. You take him. I'm just happy to pick Johnny Manziel. That's it.
Man, I was not happy with Bortles. I watched it. I didn't like his tape.
I didn't know anything about Bortles. I watched every other quarterback. I was figuring on Bridgewater because if you go on the Jungle, which is the Jags message board, everybody kept on saying Bridgewater.
But
I thought we would take Watkins at 3, trade back up with Seattle in the first round, take Bridgewater at 32. That's what I thought we were going to do.
I thought we was going to take Mack at 3 and probably take one of the other quarterbacks. I honestly thought that we was going to get like either Mettenberger or McCarron.
I like Mettenberger. I really like Mettenberger a lot.
But I mean, we need him. They said he got the highest ceiling, but I seen the game when he beat Bridgewater. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched that game too.
I mean, the kid, he brought him back. You know what I mean? He showed some things.
But I also watched him play against some terrible teams like Memphis and just struggle.
Mm-hmm. But you can say that, but then you never know. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why I think that's why they said we're going to give him that year to sit down. You know what I mean? Let him soak in this offense. He might come out better next year. I mean, I honestly think he's going to be in by the 6th game this year. I really hope that he's great. I really do.
But
the two best things for a rookie quarterback is a running game and a tight end, and I think that we got both.
And defense.
Mm-hmm. So.
And you better have a wide receiver.
We got Cecil, but I just think we're going to do a lot of double tight end sets this year because I like Clay Harbor. He stretches the field. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to do a lot of double tight end sets and throw out of that and everything. And I feel like on 3rd down, Cecil Short should be inside the slot because he could do some damage inside the slot. You know what I mean? I think Ace Sanders should really just concentrate on the return game right now and throw him in some packages and everything like that, and let's try to develop Robinson and Lee. I think Maurice Lee is going to be really good for us.
All right, so who would you say was your most proud draft pick? I'm going to have to go with Lee, hands down. The fact that he was sitting there, you know, in the second round, and we were able to grab him. If you've seen his, tape, which is, unless you watch the games, is just YouTube, like I've explained to people. He really, I watch game like YouTube's, not like just like highlight films. But the year before last, when he was healthy, he was a very exciting wide receiver.
Oh, he was unstoppable.
Yeah, that's when he had Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley leaves, he has a down year. I think the two for me would have to be Allen Robinson. I've seen him bust Michigan butt playing time with the Big Ten. You know what I mean? Big guy, 6'3", 220, he can run. And to me, the surprise pick who's going to do a lot is Storm Johnson.
Yeah, that's my pick, Storm. I think Storm's going to be a steal.
Mm-hmm. Storm Johnson. I don't know how.
And I'll tell you another one, Colvin from Oklahoma in the 4th round. I think he might be a steal.
And yes, and wait till he probably wound up playing for us probably in the 10th game or something like that. He was supposed to be a first round pick.
The nickel package, definitely.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a first round pick. I like Linder, and I can't say his name, Booko, the center.
Yeah.
I can't. Say
I wanted that center from Florida State, Stork. That's what I really wanted him.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they picked Martin from USC, but I thought he was going to slide, but he didn't slide. But I'm pretty happy. I can say that the last 2 years we have had solid draft picks. Because if you look at last year, A.C. Anderson had to step in. Demetrius McKay had to step in that corner sometimes, and he did good. Jonathan Cyprian, Dwayne Gratz. We had solid draft picks. The last 2 years.
Good draft class in a row.
And remember last year they gave us a C, and look what it turned out.
Yeah, I know. And they all were getting playing time.
Mm-hmm. So I believe it was good.
I agree. It was a very, solid. outside the Bortles pick, people are like, well, you could have grabbed him after that. But then, I was looking at Walter, football, mock drafts and all these different mock drafts, and a lot of people had Bortles going 1 to Houston.
They say Houston had 2 cards in, one with Bortles' name and one with Clowney's name.
Yeah, but I'm glad we drafted Bortles because you imagine they get Jadeveon Clowney, then they come back in the second round and get Blake Bortles, we'd have been in trouble. So forget it. I'm happy we took him, and I think he's going to be good for us. He's strong in the pocket, he got a strong arm, and he can run.
Bortles would not have lasted to Houston's pick. I highly doubt it.
Who was going to? Nobody was taking quarterbacks, and I don't believe he'd have fit in Cleveland.
I think Minnesota would have took him.
And even if Minnesota would have took him, we couldn't let Teddy Bridgewater drop down to Houston. You know what I mean? So I think by us taking Blake Bortles kind of messed up what Houston had in mind. And they wound up taking. They got a good second round pick in Suafulo, but I don't believe that Jadeveon Clowney is going to be all that great. His work, he can have all the speed and all this in the world, all athleticism, but if you don't have the work ethic, ain't going to be nothing. And I don't think he has the work ethic.
I personally liked Mac more than I like Clowney.
Yeah. I thought Mac was an overall better player. You see his stats? You know what I mean? Over 100 tackles. He had 10 sacks to go with 5 interceptions.
Yeah, what he did in the Ohio State game alone just propelled him.
I like Watkins the best. He was the best player I liked.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that, Sammy Watkins had pick 1 potential, which I think he did. You know what I mean? But this is a wide receiver draft. To me, I thought the ceiling would be a little higher for Mike Evans because he has that height and he's a red zone threat. You know what I mean? So
Mike Evans bailed, Manziel out many times. If you look at, different tapes, you can see it. It's clear as day.
And I don't think that Johnny Football's game is going to transition to the NFL. I mean, you're doing all that scrambling around, especially the division that he's in. I mean, that's a hard-nosed division right there.
Yeah, but you got to think the Steelers' defense isn't like that anymore. The Ravens' defense isn't like that anymore. You know, I just feel, and then plus he's got Shanahan over there who just had RG3. I think he's gonna have a good. I think he's gonna start. He's gonna have a good season.
Well, I have a problem with that. You know, I mean, they try to compare him to Russell Wilson. The difference about him and Russell Wilson is that Russell Wilson cares, and Johnny Manziel don't.
How does he not care though? I mean, because he goes out and has fun.
You can go. I don't. I mean, he asked the coach if he can go and have fun. The coach told him yes. You understand? But if you put any one of us in that predicament, you worked all your life to get to the NFL. You know, the NFL sometimes for some people, no matter if you are a first-round pick, it's a one-and-done league. You know, if nobody likes you. You know,
well, you gotta think he's on like Tebow status. He's got these guys following him around. He's like celebrity status.
Yeah.
So like if Blake Bortles did go to Las Vegas, he's not gonna get all the attention that Johnny gets.
Yeah, but wouldn't that tell you, as you being Johnny Manziel, okay, you know what? Let me just take off this one weekend, and let me just really, really cram it. You understand? Let me learn what I need to learn. So when I go back to OTAs, I look completely different. You understand?
Yeah, but I just feel like he's been doing that the whole last 3-4 months. He hasn't done anything. I mean, you still gotta live your life.
Yeah, you do. But you're in the NFL. You have your whole life to live ahead of you. You understand? I feel like Johnny Manziel is putting himself out there. He's making himself, you know, noticed. Make yourself noticed on a football field, and then when you go out there and somebody see that you out there, they won't sit there and criticize everything that you're doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, why do they criticize him? Because he's the best player in college football.
I gotta disagree there.
I mean, he won the Heisman, didn't he? I mean, he
broke
Cam Newton's stats.
He won the Heisman off the Alabama game. He won the Heisman off the Alabama game because nobody knew who Johnny Manziel was before the Alabama game.
What? Did you not watch that season? He was balling. I mean, no one
He was balling. He was balling, but until he played Alabama, that's when everybody was saying, who is this kid, Johnny Manziel? You understand? He beat Alabama. I mean, how many teams you know beat Alabama? No, but when he played against an athletic front like LSU last year, you know, even when he played against Duke, you know, I mean, come on, he had a hard time against Duke until the second half.
And then but you saw his leadership over there? I mean, if he didn't care, you saw him get it to his defense, give me the ball back. Someone that don't care, you don't see that.
Yeah, I just feel like you're a rookie, and this is your chance. And I feel like you should sit there and you should take this 1 year. It's only 1 year out of your life. You're only 21. Take this 1 year.
Jacksonville would have got Johnny football. Man, we would have so much buzz, we wouldn't know what to do with it right now.
I'd have threw my chair at the TV if the draft card would have came up and said Johnny Manziel.
Man, you'd be rocking that number 2 jersey right now.
I would not. I'm sorry. I can sit there and I can show you. We was in this house, me and my friends and my cousins, and every time our pick came up, everybody was saying no Johnny football. Now, my brother-in-law is a Dallas fan. He was about to leave if they picked Johnny football.
I thought I thought Jerry was going to take him. I thought he couldn't control himself.
Yeah, you know, but I don't. I mean, I have to see. He has to make me a believer. Yes, I think that Teddy Bridgewater is the most pro-rated quarterback. I mean, look at Blake Bortles. He came out of a pro scheme, you know. So Johnny Manziel came out that, you know.
No, Blake Bortles was doing a lot of shotguns. He threw a lot of screen passes.
If you look at a lot of his tape and you look at a lot of games he played, he was under center a lot of times too.
I didn't like Bortles. I wasn't sold on him, but I gotta go with him now.
You know, I like Bortles after, you know, he was picked because he went down to, you know, where the Bold City Brigade was, and he, you know, took a picture with them. And most people don't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
He's part of BCB now.
But that's what I'm saying. How many other quarterbacks would have done that? Would have Johnny? I don't think so.
Because Johnny sat there and came out flashing his fingers with his, like, got money in his hand.
Yeah, then he said, I'm going to the dog pound. Or I'm bringing a Super Bowl to the dog pound.
I don't know about all that. I don't know. Cleveland's front office is a little bit of a,
Yeah, they like Gene Smith.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, could you compare him to a Cunningham? Could you compare him to a Vic? If that answer is no, then
no.
The only question I have with him, I think, is durability.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at him and look at Russell Wilson is more muscular. Johnny Manziel is not that muscular.
Well, you gotta think he's 5'11", 205. That's not a small dude.
In the NFL, that's a little dude.
But as a runner, that's what size running backs are.
I mean, will he be able to stand up? Let's say, for instance, you got big, almost 400-pound Vince Wilfork coming at you full. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at. And he doesn't stay in the pocket enough for me. You know what I mean? He doesn't stay in the pocket enough. I mean, he's exciting. Let's not get me wrong here. I'm not going to, he's exciting. You know what I mean? A lot of times he had me going whoa, did he just really do that? But it's his character, and I'm a big person on character. I've been a Jaguar fan since 9-5. We had some craziest people inside Jacksonville. So I'm a big person on character.
All right, we're going to change the subject a little here. Who's the odd man out in running backs right now?
Jordan Todman.
I like Todman though.
I know, but
I gotta say Robinson.
I don't know, because Bradley likes Robinson too much.
I mean, it's tough, man, because Todman came in last year and played good, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, here's the thing. On the Jungle, and different outlets, they're, knocking Todman, and I'm like, well, when you gave him the ball, he did what he had to do. In preseason, he didn't choose who he had to work with. He scored a touchdown. When he played, as a starter, he did gain over 100 yards. I mean, that's got to count for something.
That was against the Bills, right? Wasn't that the Bills game?
I'm not 100% sure, but it was one of the teams that they didn't have a great defense, but it doesn't matter because any NFL defense is better than a college defense, and that includes Alabama. I don't think Alabama could beat any NFL team.
I'd agree. But, I mean, I like Todman. You know what I mean? He's another one. Once he gets a few inches of daylight, he hits the hole and he has nobody there, he's gone. But I just felt like, Gus Bradley likes Denard Robinson. You add Toby Gerhardt, and, I mean, Storm Johnson is so underrated. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if there'll be room for him on the roster.
Hey, that little white dude, Bo, whatever his name is, man, that dude was balling at rookie camp.
Bokenship?
Yeah, he was balling, man. They couldn't stop him.
You never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know I mean, we got a lot of backs. You know what I mean? I just hope that we do the smart thing and use a fullback. Because I just hate running the ball without a fullback.
Jed Fish was the OC at Miami, so I've seen a lot of Jed Fish. He does not use I formation.
But we need to use that formation. Because that's the only
problem
way
with him at Miami is he got pass happy a lot. He would get away from the run a lot. And I think that's the one thing about him. But other than that, he calls a good game to me.
What's funny is if you look on the roster of on Jaguars.com, you will see or Jaguars.com, you will see that Robinson is listed as a wide receiver, not a running back.
Well, I think that you have to give him a position, so he can concentrate on that position. He can be good at that position. He can work on that position. I think they tried to cram too much on him when he first got there. You know what I mean? I like him a little bit better at tailback. I believe he can be something of an Eric Metcalf type player.
He can be a third down back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So he could do it all, but I think you have to let him concentrate on just being. If you tell him he's a wide receiver, let him concentrate on running his routes and catching the ball. If you tell him he's going to be a running back, let him concentrate on ball security and hitting the holes and reading defenses and pass blocking.
Well, that would be a great way for us to keep 4 great backs.
Yeah. I mean, who said you can't have 4?
I mean, if they play special teams, and you can have 4 out there.
Yeah, definitely. I like Todman in the return game when he was returning the ball a couple of times. You know what I mean?
Man, I wanted to see Denard and Ace back there on kickoff returns doing some reverses and stuff, man, because those two are just dynamic.
Yeah, and Ace Sanders is. And I don't understand what they said him coming out the draft. He couldn't run. He looked like he could run to me.
He can run. I remember that Rams game. He had that pump. He took back, but they called a flag. I was like,
yeah, man, it killed me.
Does anybody have the inside scoop on, the other Robinson's hamstring? Whether he's going to play this year?
He's going to play. They say it's a couple of weeks.
So it should be good then.
He'll be all right for camp. Training
He
camp.
should be fine.
I just hope Marquise Lee is not injury prone. That's the only thing I hope.
Yeah. I mean, he hurt his wrist last week, and he said he's fine, but then now you look up, his ankle is hurt now. So he says he's healthy. We'll see. We'll just have to see.
And they're not even hitting. They only have pads on. That's what's scaring me.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but Lee, the year before last year, I mean, he, wasn't, full of injuries. So I don't think one injury is going to curtail a bunch of different ones.
I hope not. 'Cause I like the guy.
Yeah. He's another one who they think, there's a difference. Like, people get a little mixed up. They look on, it's a difference of game speed and combine speed and all this other, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean because he ran a 4.5 40 that on the field, he's not running 4.3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference in game speed. And some people don't know.
It's like Anquan Bolden. He ran like a 4.8 at the combine. And you get him out there and you can't stop him.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know the difference between speed and quickness. You could be quick and not have speed. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I heard this argument about RG3 and Johnny. He said RG3's faster. I said, yeah, but Johnny's quicker.
Difference. You know what I'm saying? So I think Marquise Lee. I got a funny feeling a couple of years down the road, you're going to see a lot. Like, Jags fans is just going to go crazy. You know what I mean? Because I rock my stuff out here all the time in New York City. And a lot of people told me they don't even know that Jacksonville got a team. Yeah, and I tell them all the time, when we play y'all and we whoop that butt, you don't know we got a team then.
There you go.
That's what my brother-in-law.
I can't wait to play the Redskins. That's what I'm ready for.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get down there, man. I know me and my brother going to Philly and then Washington.
I don't know though. Washington does have freaking what's his face now, and that's going to help out RG3 considerably.
But he doesn't have offensive line. Will he stay in the pocket?
Yeah.
Do they have a defense? Because Washington has no defense.
Nah, they don't have a defense, and Hatcher's not going to be playing for them no time soon. He got hurt, so I mean, if you look at our schedule and the teams that we play, we have a chance to beat these teams. Philly, I don't believe that Nick Foles is going to do what he did last year.
Well, I like playing Philly early. I like playing them early because they're not going to be clicking like they were last year.
Yeah, exactly. And then Washington, like you said, no offensive line, no defense. You know what I mean? Indianapolis, to me, Hakeem Nicks is going to be hurt before training camp. Reggie Wayne.
I just think we can go 3-3 in the division, no problem. I think 3-3 is very possible.
Sleeping on Philly, though, you got to remember they just grabbed Sanchez too, and Sanchez, even though he's not a great quarterback, really had nothing to work with in New York.
Yeah, I just believe that with Philly letting go with Deshaun Jackson, you take away that speed person. I mean, Jeremy Maclin. I mean, how many times has he hurt his knee? He hasn't played a full season in 2 years. You know what I mean? So by him getting out there, who knows if his body's going to stand up to being hit like that? Raleigh Cooper is a good possessive receiver. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I don't really see them doing, I think you have Rashawn McCoy, and Darren Sproles doesn't really scare me that much. He scared me in the New Orleans Saints system, but who says he's going to work out in Chip Kelly's system?
Wait a second. So you're saying that Philly made a mistake by getting rid of Jackson, correct?
Yes, a big mistake.
But yet you're telling Jacksonville, okay, let's get rid of Blackman.
There's a difference. Okay. There's a difference. There's a difference. Okay. Deshaun Jackson didn't get suspended for any substance abuse.
You're laughing about it.
Okay. He didn't get suspended. Even though Deshaun Jackson did what Deshaun Jackson did, he was able to stay on the field and be productive. That's the difference. He was able to play every game. He was there. Okay. Justin Blackman, he just did too much in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And you know Goodell, who I can't stand, you know him. He's ready to hang everybody. You know, I just feel like Sean Jackson is what made Chip Kelly's offense work, and then not everybody had a full year to look at Chip Kelly's offense. So who said it's going to work again this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a point there, but you also have to think, okay, well, what other, bad character or per se bad character wide receiver did we grab from the Dallas Cowboys, and he ended up pretty damn good?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Smith. But like I said, Jimmy Smith didn't start messing with the baby powder really until after the season, after he retired. You know what I mean? So it's to me, it's a difference. There's a difference. There's a real big difference. I think Deshaun Jackson, after a couple of years, he got it. You know what I mean? He got it. He understood. I'm in the NFL. I have to play like a professional. I have to act differently.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, man. I'm just trying to, think of, well, what would people think if they were listening to the show?
Definitely. I understand. But, I just don't feel like Philly's going to be that dynamic. I'm not too crazy about Washington. Like I said, they have no defense. Really, Alfred Morris. I mean, what can you do? You shut down Alfred Morris. They got to throw all the time. That just helps us get to the quarterback more. You know what I mean? Indy, like I said, Reggie Wayne coming off ACL. Once people come off of ACL.
But they just grabbed Nix as well.
Yeah, but he's never.
Yeah, but Nix is always hurt.
Yeah, always hurt. You know what I mean? So, and then Trent Richardson. I think he's gonna have a better year, but I don't think he's gonna be anything good.
They got raped on that trade. Raped.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, if you look at what we're dealing with, Houston don't have a quarterback situation yet. We don't even know what's going on in Tennessee. To me, they're not strong at all if they keep Jake Lockett in. You understand? Dallas lost Sean Lee. You know what I mean? So we have a chance to make a big impact.
I mean, I think we can, man, because Cleveland is beatable. Pittsburgh is beatable.
The football gods helped us out this year finally.
Well, don't be shocked if Bortles starts. I don't care what they said.
I wouldn't mind.
I don't know, man. I don't see it. Maybe if Henny gets injured, I just don't see it.
I mean, we never know about Chad Henne either. A second year inside Jeff Fisher's system, he might come out and be, he might be good. I mean, if you look at him every year, he played in Miami, different coordinators. He comes to Jacksonville, different coordinators.
Yeah, but he had Brandon Marshall.
I mean, and if you kind of look, didn't he have a stretch before they started using that Wildcat when he didn't throw like an interception in like 4 or 5 games? He was one of the most accurate passes in the game when he's doing that. Then they want to put in this whole Wildcat offense and take him off the field and put him on the field and take him off the field and put him on the field. Like that messes with you. You're messing up the quarterback's rhythm like that way.
Nice burn.
You know what I mean?
Man, last 8 games, man, we were in every game. I just feel confident in him, man.
He played well, 4-4 with him. I mean, you got to think, you never know what would have happened if we just started him from the beginning. I don't know what we could have been like.
Well, then in the beginning, man, we had rough. We went to Seattle, to Denver, played Kansas City. We played a tough first 8 games.
Yeah, but we also played Kansas City with, man, I don't even want to talk about that Kansas City game.
Oh, Big 6.
Oh, God. I don't want to talk about that game. That game just, I couldn't even do it.
How about the Raider game? Was that terrible or what? I mean, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's just, I just feel like he had a chance to learn the system, stay in the system, and now they can put more plays on him because he knows what's going on. You know what I mean? you bring
and
back
give him more weapons.
Yeah, got more weapons. And bring it back. Like I said, Mercedes Lewis, Clay Harbor, Cecil Shorts, Ace Sanders. These guys that was in that system now, and they in the system again for the second year. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. Oh, huge difference.
I think
He's playing for his career. If he doesn't play good this year, he's never going to play again, probably.
All right. Well, I mean, how I'm going to end this, because we're running short on time right now. I know you all are having a blast, but we are running short on time right now. Is I can see Sanders really stepping up his game. Ace Sanders. What do you all think about that?
Definitely.
I think he'll have 600-700 receiving yards this year.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I can see him coming out the backfield. I can see him coming out the slot. I can see him playing the X or the Z. He does a lot. He does a lot. He runs back kicks. He runs back punts. He can do a lot. He's our Darren Sproles in a way, if you look at it.
So he was the Thomas that he was what Thomas was supposed to be and never mounted to.
Yeah, basically. But I don't think they gave Thomas a real legitimate shot. So, but I think about the difference between Ace Sanders and Mike Thomas is that Ace Sanders is quicker than Mike Thomas was. You know what I mean? But I think Ace Sanders is like Bo said, 600-700 yards receiving, about 5 touchdowns. I think that's a productive year.
That sounds good. So any last words y'all have?
Go Jags.
That's it. Go Jags. Duval.
Exactly. All right. Well, join us next week, 10-10. Hopefully, Bo and what's your name again, man?
Rob Boogie.
I'm just kidding, Rob Boogie. Will be joining us. Maybe Philip be joining us. And I know Jacob Wolf will be joining us eventually. I don't know exactly when, but he has said down the line he will be joining us. All right. Well, this has been Jagging Off After Dark. This is CT Jags.
Peace out.
Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.